So hello, welcome to the Minecraft Redstone world that is getting rather full. And today we have a 3x3 Vault Trapdoor, which goes a bit like that. And the redstone for it is pretty tiny, it's just this little bit here, kind of a mess of observers and pistons with some redstone thrown in, but that just makes it tiny, so let's get building. Alright, so to build it, you're going to need this 7x8 area. And what that means is, in one direction, you've got your 3x3 door in the middle. You've got 2 blocks on each side. But one of the directions, you've got 3 blocks coming out. You'll just have to plan around that. And the input is at the bottom left here. So if you go to the side that sticks out 3 blocks from the door, then the corner is where the input is. So resource-wise, you're going to need 7 noteblocks, 11 sticky pistons, 3 repeaters, 10 redstone dust, 11 observers and an extra observer because the input is an observer. So if you look on here, the thing I've got inputting into the redstone is an observer. So that's kind of a funky thing with this door. This works on Java Edition but not Bedrock Edition as well, by the way. So to start off, we go to where our input is, we go 2 blocks below it, and we put a redstone dust on top of a block. Next to it we have a block with a repeater, and that's on 2 ticks, so right click it once, and then coming from the other side, so towards the door, we'll have redstone on its default going into a block, and then on the other side of that block. And then if we go towards our door from that block, we place another block with a redstone on it, and then we do a block with a repeater aiming at the first repeater, and this is on 3 ticks, so right click it twice. Coming from the 2 tick repeater here, we have a block with a redstone dust, and then we have a piston. And we'll fill in the other pistons, we have another one in front, and another one above. Now in front of these 2 pistons is going to be your middle block, so I'm doing mine as this lantern to make it look nice. And then you've got a normal block in your wall, like this, so you'll fill in your wall around like that. And there's our first 2 blocks for our door. Moving back to our input block, if we go to the side, we do a couple of pistons aiming inwards like this, with blocks in front that they push in, and to power those, we go under this block the repeater goes into with a note block, and then we have an observer, and that goes into another observer, into a note block, with a redstone on top to power this piston. Then coming out the note block we have another observer going into a block with redstone dust. And then we're at the edge and we turn a corner, we do a note block and a block above it. Then we do another observer going into a note block, and then another observer going into another note block with redstone on top. And then above these middle 3 blocks we do 3 pistons aiming into the middle, and those will push blocks into the door so we can fill our blocks in around the outside here. Now coming from this note block with a redstone, we do a block in the corner, then we turn our corner, we go another block with redstone on both of those. Then we have a note block with redstone on top, 2 observers going into a note block with redstone on top. Above these 2 observers we have pistons aiming into the middle to push blocks in so we can fill in all our blocks there as well. Now we're back to where we started, and at the back of this double extender we want to do an observer coming out of that back piston, and that goes into another piston, a sticky piston with an observer aiming into the 2 pistons we first placed, so looking like that. And then finally from this note block with a redstone above it that we did last, we have an observer coming out of that redstone like this. Then we have one going across towards these 2 pistons in the middle again like that, and then a block in front of that. And a lot of this looks very weird, but it's just kind of to make stuff go off at a nice time, so it goes in the spiral pattern that you've got here. You can make it with less resources and it would look a bit janky, so one of the goals was to make it look nice, so that's why the redstone is a weird mess. But now, if we've done all this right, if we go to our corner with redstone and we use an observer aiming into it from some direction, if you update that, should set off our door, And obviously you want the ceiling above it removed. And then if we update it again, it goes back. So as shown here, you can do that with a lever and redstone going into an observer into that redstone, like that. Or you could also do something that I like to do a lot of times, which is if we get a sticky piston that pushes an observer, then if we activate that with a button, so we can have buttons all over the place, depending on what side of the door we're on, and that'll set it off. Alright, hope you enjoyed. I've been Night and Died. I'll see you in the next one.